Could we be on the verge of seeing the Montreal Canadiens, led by Nick Suzuki and Lane Hutson, up against Alexander Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals in round one of the Stanley Cup playoffs? We'll get to that a little bit later. But Coco, this is the 5-minute edition of Power Plays powered by FanDuel. Let's start with Nick Suzuki, who scores in overtime again last night. That's 5 OT winners this season for the Habs captain. Is this guy clutch or what?
Well, he's definitely been clutch the last two games, and if you look at the last two games, it's against the Florida Panthers, the defending Stanley Cup champions, and two monumental wins for the Montreal Canadiens, keeping their playoff hopes alive, which right now they control their own destiny with the schedule that they have left. Spirited game, unbelievable comeback, but when you look at Nick Suzuki, you look at him and you try to define his moments in his career as a captain. 3 years ago, they named him captain of the Montreal Canadiens. And you just see the progression throughout his years. Every year he plays every game. Every year he gets better statistically. He's already eclipsed his career high after yesterday's game. 79 points right now on the season. And you wonder what that's going to finish at. 8 game-winning goals. And like you touched on, 5 overtime winners. So absolutely, Nick Suzuki's playing with a bigger chip on his shoulder because he didn't get named to Team Canada. He's been one of the best players in the National Hockey League coming out of Four Nations with 27 points in 18 games. So absolutely, Nick Clutch Suzuki is the captain of the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, Justin Williams may be Mr. Game 7, but this season, Nick Suzuki is Mr. Overtime. Let's talk about one of your guys, Lane Hutson. You said it before the season, he was going to win the Calder. That is looking increasingly likely night after night. 3 assists last night against Florida. How is this guy still playing at such a high level so deep into his rookie season?
Well, people that talk to him or talk about him around Montreal say this guy absolutely loves hockey. He lives at the rink. He's on the ice before practice, before everyone, on the ice after practice, continuing to work on his craft. And rightfully so, because every game you watch him, he's making magic happen. The stuff this guy makes when there's no play you think to be made, he finds a way to make it. And look, he's having an incredible season. This guy lives for the big moments, leading the rookie scoring. He's 4th in D scoring, but he also has Larry Murphy's rookie record in sight. So that's what's motivating him. The playoff push is motivating him. And playing in front of that Bell Center. I mean, electric atmosphere, that's motivating him too.
If you had to vote for one of Suzuki or Hutson as the Montreal Canadiens MVP this season, where would your vote go?
How dare you ask me that question? Because I don't believe there's a right answer to this one. But if I was to give an answer, look, they both are making a case to be MVP on this team. Lane Hutson's just a rookie. Sometimes I got to pinch myself or remind myself that he's just a rookie. But clearly the MVP of this team is Nick Suzuki because he's the captain, and captains lead by example both on and off the ice, and he's doing that at the highest level for this Montreal Canadiens team, helping them with their push to make the playoffs.
If Montreal gets in, it's almost certain they would play Washington in round one. What type of odds would you give the Habs of staging the upset?
Well, every year we learn that the playoffs is a completely different season than the regular season, but we can't hide the fact that the Washington Capitals have had an incredible season, right now fighting for the President's Trophy. I don't want to disrespect Montreal because if they get in, they're going to be playing playoff hockey. They would have been playing, the toughest stretch, and sometimes those are the toughest teams to play against. But I'm not going to say 50-50, but I'm going to say 40% chance that Montreal has a chance to beat the Washington Capitals.
And that's saying a lot considering the unbelievable season the Caps have had. But you look, since the Four Nations face-off, Coco, Montreal's record, I believe, is just as good, if not better, than that of Washington. Alexander Ovechkin, we know he's getting closer and closer to Wayne Gretzky's record of 895 career goals. Where would you set the odds of Ovechkin getting to 1,000 goals in my Dr. Evil voice in his illustrious NHL career?
We're talking about him getting 100 more goals. At age 39 right now, what he's doing is absolutely incredible. 4 away from the Gretzky record. So if we were to do math, he has to play at least another 3 years in the league to eclipse that total. That would put him at age 42. He has 1 more year left on his contract. That's 30-plus goals a year for Alexander Ovechkin. Look, if this guy still loves the game as much as he shows that he does, absolutely, he can play as long as he wants till he breaks it. I'm going to actually set this line as 1,000 because I don't believe he plays that long to actually find a way to eclipse that, even though it would be absolutely incredible to see in our lifetime somebody achieve that.
Oh, the disrespect for Ovechkin. Come on. You can't doubt the guy. He's shown he is someone you can never doubt. And now he's going to use that as personal fuel, Coco, to do it, to get to 1,000 goals after watching this 5-minute segment of Power Plays powered by FanDuel.